Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayet Nasta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Om Tatsat Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjanasalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pankham Langayate Girim Yatkrupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinadarinam Paramanandamadavam Sri Chaitanyeswaram Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhayeva cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंत कोटि वैष्णव बंधु की जाय नमाचार्य हृदास ठाकुर की जाय प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वापदान्तिकम् श्रील रूप गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय प्रभुपाद की जय गौर भक्त वृंद की जय रीडिंग फ्रॉम श्रीमद् भागवतम कैंटो 5 creative impetus Lord chapter 5 Lord Rishabhadev is instructing to his 100 sons including Bharat Maharaj Nava Yogendras so verse number 27 मनोवाचो दृक् करणे हि तस्या साक्षात् कृतं मे परिबर्हणं हि विना पुमान्येन महाविमोहात् कृतान्तपासा न विमोक्तम् ईशेत् मनोवाचो दृक् करणे हि तस्या साक्षात् कृतं मे परिबर्हणं हि विना पुमान्येन महाविमोहान् कृतान्तपासान् न विमोक्तम् ईशेत् मनोवचो दृक्करणे हि तस्य साक्षात् कृतं मे परिबर्हणं हि विना पुमान् येन महाविमोहात् कृतान्तपासान् न विमोक्तम् ईशेत् Lord Rishabhadev is instructing clearly. This instruction is there in Bhagavad Gita, Nectar of Instruction, Upadesha Amrita, Nectar of Devotion, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srimad Bhagavatam, multiple places in different ways. Even at the end of Vishnu Sahasranam, similar verse is there. Because it boils down to we are originally spirit souls, such is the Ananda Vigraha, means full of eternality, full of bliss, and full of knowledge. And so that's why nobody wants to die because we are eternal. So Sat means eternal. And we are always blissful. This is an original concept. That's why everybody is looking for happiness. Nobody wants distress. And so Sat Chit. Chit is knowledge. Everybody is looking for knowledge from the time we are born. So till the last breath. Always looking for knowledge, gaining knowledge, touching, seeing in everywhere. So the seeking knowledge is there. Permanent knowledge. These are all eternal aspects. So that right now it is being covered by these three things: gross body and subtle body. So mano, vacha, drik. It is to do with the first one is the body, the karanam senses. Here, mind is first one because mind is the center point. Mind is the focal point, like a TV antenna. Antenna is the one signal, taking the signal and showing us the picture, showing us the audio, background, everything. It is showing. So mind is the center focus. If the mind is not controlled, and Bhagavad Gita, you see that clearly defining when Arjuna has been asked, "Why am I forced to engage in sinful activities?" Then Lord Krishna immediately said, "So this is lust only, Arjuna. It is there in the senses, mind, intelligence, ego. Everywhere this lust is situated. Curb this lust by engaging in sharpening your intelligence by engaging in Krishna conscious activities." I'm just telling. So he's giving the sequence of the hierarchy of the how the consciousness is laid out, or the lust, the unwanted things are laid out, starting with um, Indriyas. Senses are the first point. Indriyani parani ahor indriyebhyam param manaha manasastu para buddhe yo parasastu saha. So Indriyas, the senses are the first starting point. Gross body consists of the senses, parani, means working senses and knowledge acquiring senses, both. So then above that is Indriya parani ahur indriyebhyam param manaha. Above the senses, working senses and knowledge acquiring sense, both karmendriyas, jnanendriyas. Above that is the mind. Mind is the central point. And then above the mind is the intelligence. So this mind, intelligence, ego is the subtle body. And the gross body is consists of these senses, karmendriyas, jnanendriyas. So above the gross body, subtle body is there. But actually we are neither gross body nor subtle body. Asangoyam Purusha. Prabhupada explains is that. So we have to be detached. How do you do that? So that's what this verse is telling. What Lord is telling, Lord Rishodha is telling. So gross body, subtle body is there. Above that, that's Indriyani, Parani Ahur, Indriyabhyam, Paramaha, Manasastu, Parabuddhe. Above the mind is intelligence. When the intelligence used, generally you understand some in the purport. I will show you some of the verses where it is clearly told. Intelligence is mentioned in translation and word to word, but in the purports, our acharyas will add ego also. So because subtle body, mind, intelligence, wherever it is that, you have to add ego automatically in that. So ego is already there. Above that is the consciousness. Above that is the soul. So prana, indriya, paramana, manasastu, parabuddhe, yo parasastu sa, yo. And that is soul. And above the soul is super soul. So now Lord is telling that in order to control your senses, you have to sharpen your intelligence. So this third chapter at the end, solution is being given how to curb this unwanted things, impure thoughts, impure actions, irreligious activities, all these things. How do you do that? He is telling the sums evam buddhe, param buddhe, samstha. Because what is the last one? In the gross body, you can't control the gross body unless mind is until subtle body is controlled. The mind, intelligence, ego has to be controlled. So mind is the center main key point. So mind has to be controlled. Above the mind is intelligence. So that's why intelligence has to be controlled. So this is the main solution for the problem from Bhagavad Gita, third chapter. So Krishna is telling, Evam buddhe param buddha samstabhya atmanam atma. You control this senses, mind, all the dirtiness by sharpening your intelligence. Samstabhya atmanam atma. Jehi satvam. This is the greatest enemy. Mind, senses are your greatest enemy. In order to do that, now you have to sharpen and work on the intelligence part. Please work on your intelligence regularly, daily. Every day you have to work on it. So, samstabhya means controlling these mind senses. Samstabhya atmanam atma. You are the spirit soul. You are not this gross body. You are not the subtle body. Atmanam atma. Jehi jatram mahabaho. You are the great, powerful person. You are Gandhi Baba wielder. So you are supposed to act on that intelligence, not act on the senses, not act on the mind's business, mind's thoughts. So rather, senses will drag you, mind will drag you, but you have to depend on your intelligence, which is coming from the acharyas, coming from the shastra, coming from the Supreme Lord. You have to depend on that. So, samstabhya atmanam atma jehi satru mahabhavu kama rupa durasanam. It is insurmountable, but you can do that if you sharpen your intelligence by Krishna conscious activities. So that means you have to adjust your priorities, strategize it, adjust your priorities. Mind has to be controlled by this adjusting your priorities. That means you have to have a self care for the body, self care for the mind, self care for the soul. So this has to be there. Just like example that mind is always seeking happiness, pleasure. So Mind is always seeking pleasure. But generally, right now, for many, many lifetimes, Brahmande Brahmate Kone Bhagyavan Ji, Guru Krishna Kripapai Bhaktilata Bij. We are running around in this many planets, many universes in this material world, taking different bodies, demigod body, ant body, tiger body, human body, different species of life. We have taken many, many lifetimes. But all these lifetimes in this material world is been pleasure seeking after the material things. It's not seeking pleasure. We are attached to seeking the pleasure. That's why we observe it. We all have gone to movies, watched movies, sat there. How many times you think when we sat there? We remember. Most of us remember. Many of you, I don't remember anything because I have hardly watched a movie somehow or other by Lord's mercy. But remember what has happened. When you sit in the movie, you don't think of anything else. You're glued to it because mind is seeking pleasure for the material aspect, not really seeking for the divine pleasure, not spiritual pleasure. It is seeking material because that's what we are attached to. So that's why when we sit in the movie, it doesn't bother us. We don't get distracted so much. If somebody else to make noise, we will be distracted. We will be upset because we are glued to that. The audio and the video, everything, and the sound as well. Yeah, sound is as well. Sound is very important aspect, but nothing, no other distraction will happen. This is what mind is doing, and then that we will remember for many, many years. Even the childhood movie, also, if you ask, many of you will tell, this movie has done, and this song, and people will sing those songs also. So even now, but the same aspect, if you observe, we have done chanting, we might have done chanting, we might have gone to temple, we might have gone to taken prasad, many things we have done. Maybe it's a little portion only. But we are not able to remember that. We remember all these other things which mind is attached to, but not remembering the actual spiritual activities. We have done it with our parents. Or somehow we went to temple, we have taken prasad. Um, where our so many places, holy places are there. Tirupati, Mayapur, Vrindavan, so many holy places. We all might have gone to definitely temple sometime or other, but we don't remember any of them. Why is that? Because mind has made so many imprints like a movie. Movie is very many shots coming putting stitched together. It's a movie. Then it's not all one shot. So many shots are stitched together. So mind has hundreds and hundreds of imprints of all the material activities. Very very teeny imprints of the spiritual activity. Very very small portion. So that's why we have to adjust these priorities. So these are, have I given a glimpse of the gross body, subtle body activities. Now I will give the glimpse, the solution of this. It's a very deep subject matter. You have to pay attention, double attention. There, or still Jiva Goswami, one of the great acharyas, six Goswamis, is giving the solution. There are three. Bhakti is defined in three aspects. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, which is practice, which we all know. So, with rules and regulations, we practice. That is called Vaidhi. Vidhi. Vaidhi means rules and Yama, Nima in yoga also. Sadhana means practice. Bhakti, devotion service. Vaidhi sadhana bhakti. Second aspect of devotion service is um, Bhava Bhakti. If you practice consistently every day, then you come to Bhava Bhakti, second stage. The third stage is attaining what is the goal? Prema Bhakti. For Lord Krishna, you attain that Prema Bhakti. Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti, Bhava Bhakti, Prema Bhakti. Okay, remember this. Now we'll define in much more deeper way. Sri Jiva Goswami is defining. You have to pay a double attention here only. There is a Aropa Siddha Bhakti, then you have Sangha Siddha Bhakti, then the third one is Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. I'll show you the evidence reference also. I'll give for this verse exact reference is there in the 11th canto. Second chapter, 11th canto is Maharaj Nimi is speaking to Nava Yogendras, 11 to 36, I think. There, Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarvya Buddhyatmanava Anusrutva Sakalam Parasmayed Narayana Yeti Samarpayami. If you read Vishnu Sahasranam book, at the end you will see this verse. Many of you might have remembered, at least I remember from my childhood, this verse very, very deeply. Kayena Vacha Manasendra, same verse, same point is mentioned here. Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyatmanava uh, Sakalam Parasmayeti Narayana Yeti Samarpayami. At the end, you will see the Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. After all these verses, after all the 1008 verses are done, Vishnu Sahasranam, at the end, the post verses are there. In that, you will see this verse. At the end, last word will be used there is Sarvam Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Here, Lord Rishodha is also telling, use your body, mind, words, everything engage in the Lord service. Put your attention. So that's a sakshat kritam me paribarhan me. Worship. Use all these faculties in the service of the Lord. If not, what will happen? Yamaraj will capture. Hmm. Vina. Vina means not. If you don't do that, puman ena moha maha vimoha. Not even ordinary illusion. You'll be captured with his gross pleasures, subtle pleasures. Maha vimoha. Great illusion. Kratanta pasan will be bound by the shackles of Yamaraj. Yamaraj will take us to punish. Kratanta pasana vimoktam ishet. You won't be able to liberate if you don't apply these things. Same body, same gross body with senses, same mind, intelligence of ego of subtle body. You are using that for many, many activities, but now you have to shift that gear. So that's why we bring this solution. From Vaidhi Sadhana Bhakti to Bhava Bhakti to Prema Bhakti, now to attain the fundamental problem. We might be practicing for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 50 years also. Still, we are not attaining the result. The problem is the deep subject matter is not understood. Swarupa Siddha Bhakti means one has to do everything from the waking up till the last breath while he's sleeping. One has to do everything with love for the Lord. Every activity is only meant for the Lord, not for ourselves, not for gross body pleasure, not for mind's pleasure, actual sense pleasure or intelligence pleasure. It is only for giving pleasure to the Lord, maintaining everything for Lord's pleasure. That is called Swarupa. Our original Swarupa is servant of Him. Jivera Swarupa Nitya Krishnadas. Krishna is telling Aham Bija Pradha Pita. 14th chapter, 4th verse. Sarva Yonishu Kaunteya. Sambhavanti Murtaya Tasham Mahat Brahma Yoni Aham Bija Pradha. You are seed giving. I am the seed giving father. You are my son. You are my daughter. I am your father. You have to worship me. That is the only way you can actually feel intense pleasure, great bliss, ecstatic, concentrated bliss. Okay. That is Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. But what we are practicing is almost day-to-day basis. In the beginning, whether they know any devotion service or not, bhakti or not, they are doing what they are doing. Sometimes they may come to temple and offer result. That is called Aropa Siddha Bhakti. Means indirectly. They have no understanding of the Lord. There is no understanding of Shastra. What is the regulative principle? What is to be done? What is not to be done? No idea. But they are performing bhakti because they are coming to temple. They are taking darshan. That is also part of bhakti. They might be taking prasad, or they might be hearing for a few minutes. There have some sukruti. They will sit in the class. Otherwise, many people who come there, they will see the class going on. They will take darshan and move out because they don't have enough sukruti. Bhakti Unmukha sukruti is not there. They will move out. They are not interested in hearing. Most of the temple anyway, they don't have discourse. Their only darshan is there, prasadam is there. That's about it. At the best, maybe kirtan is there. That also not much. So because this is became more of a religious practice without actually deeper understanding of actually what it is supposed to be meant for. So that Savanam and Kirtanam is a great missing part. Anyway, so this is called Aropa Siddha Bhakti. We are doing it, but only you are offering results. Coming your time, you're offering, coming taking darshan or taking prasadam, or you may put some donation. You're not doing everyday basis, you're not following any injunctions of Shastra, injunctions of Sadhu, injunctions of Guru, injunctions of the Lord. Lord is telling clearly. You have to engage in sacrifices, you have to put your mind, think of me, become my devotee, worship me, so many things. Always chant, all these things, so many. Through Bhagavad Gita from chapter 2 all the way till chapter 18, Lord Krishna is giving instructions after instruction. But our opposite the bhakti means these most of the people are not following. If at all, some people only come out of those people. Most of them are in this first category, or opposite the bhakti. So they cannot progress. They are seeking still mind's pleasures only. They are seeking pleasure for the gross senses only. They are not seeking the higher pleasures. Now the next level is Sangha Siddha Bhakti. Sangha Siddha Bhakti means those who are coming enter into the Krishna consciousness, practicing bhakti, they are in this category, second category. So Sangha Siddha Bhakti means we are engaging results, but actually we have not developed love. Prabhupada gives, or Jiva Goswami, Prabhupada is commenting on this book 11 to 36. We'll also quote a couple of verses. What is solution? If one has to come to Swarupa Siddha Bhakti, you have to apply uh, one verse from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taken sannyas. After sannyas Leela has given first and foremost the topmost instruction, which is aligned with the Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. And then you will see that similar instruction is given to Antilila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, 6th chapter, Raghunath Das Goswami. There, before, he said, you take shelter of my associate, Swarup Damodar Goswami, you are under his care. But still, he insists, please give me some instruction. Okay, if you still want my instruction, then he will give instruction. That also very much aligned with this Swarup Siddha Bhakti, very prominent instruction. From Chaitanya Bhagavat, that instruction from Madhya Lila, chapter 28, Sannyas Lila, chapter verse number 28, I think. Chapter 28, verse number 28. And so here, Janti Lila, chapter 6, verse number, I think I have to remember that verse. Very famous. So these two verses are very much aligned. If one follows that, they can actually come to Swarup Siddha Bhakti. But we are practicing Sangha Siddha Bhakti. Sangha means association of the worldly things and association with the materialistic ideas, materialistic ideology of the people. So that is still there lingering. Sangha Siddha Bhakti. The practicing where the nine limbs of devotion service, Savanam, Ketram, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Acharam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedam, Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu. In this verse also it is mentioned actually Swarup Siddha Bhakti. But this is performed in 81 different ways. Bhakti is performed many. Most of us are performing these 81 different ways. We are not performing Swarup Siddha Bhakti. We are performing Sangha Siddha Bhakti. 81 different means on the mode of ignorance, passion, goodness. We are chanting, we are hearing. I'll give you examples. So most of us, if you looked at the last year, 12 months, how many days we have chanted? How many times we missed 16 rounds in a month? So many of you might have missed. If you are initiated, maybe you might not have missed it. If you have missed it, you would have done second day. In a year, I am sure. In our temple also, most other temples, many devotees will miss and they will cover up next day. So if they are not initiated, if they are initiated, maybe very few will be there. But still, I think there are a lot more. So are there on that category. Further, if you come down further, then how many of them actually are even not only missing? How many of them are chanting late? Chanting late means after 6 o'clock, after 7 o'clock. Oh, so many. They're not able to wake up. See this because Sangha Siddha Bhakti. Because if you are mode of goodness, you will not do that. If you are mode of goodness, you will have to chant much early when the time is goodness. That is Brahma Muhurta, 3:30 all the way to 8, but before 6 or before sunrise. That is Brahma Muhurta. That is a real first half of Brahma Muhurta is the time where one supposed to chant with great attention because we are not following the actual principles laid out by the Acharya. So, Prabhupada, yesterday only I'm reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 12, 4, 5, 6, I think. In those verses, Prabhupada is telling that earlier days, the disciple used to go and sit in front of Guru and hear and follow his instruction very clearly. He's supposed to follow everything means he will go and collect the alms and bring it, but he cannot take prasad at all until he tells. And he's telling because they are very because Guru is telling because Guru wants to give so benefit to all those living entities where he is going to collect. But actually, we are not just taking for the rice and grains whatever they are giving. It is actually not for just for stomach. Actually, they are getting benefit. Mahad vicharanam grinam dena chetasam. This is giving mercy to them, grahastas especially and giving grostas get great mercy. If they give something to the Lord, something to the temple, something to the devotee, then they get lots of mercy. That's why we tell that always take donation. Always, minimum $1. It helps greatly for them. They are getting a great eternal credit. If they don't give, they don't get that. So that's why we should take. Ideally, we should at least $1. It's not so much about we taking the money, it is for their benefit. Not so much for our benefit, it is for their benefit only. Grinam Dena Chedam Mahad Vichalanam. Mahad means great mercy they are receiving through the Parampara Acharyas. When they offer some donation, some grain, something, whatever they are giving. But there Prabhupada is explaining that they have to hear, and only Guru will, whatever instruction is giving, they have to strictly follow it in terms of the eating, in terms of whatever Guru says, you have to perform that activity. There is no second repetition. Yeah, exactly, you have to follow. Brahmacharya are very strictly process one has to follow. And they propose explain two brahmacharyas also. That is another problem with this Sangha Siddha Bhakti. One is brahmacharya, those who are not married, nicely brahmacharya. Then Prabhupada uses this word similar, almost paribarhana. Upakurvana brahmacharya. Upakurvana brahmacharya, he has married, but he is on the brahmacharya. First few years maybe he is enjoying to produce Krishna consciousness, but after that, no more. It is that is also brahmacharya concept. Nicely brahmacharya is never married, but after married, he has become also brahmacharya. Mm. He's utilizing, not utilizing the unwantedly. So he's only utilizing for Krishna's pleasure. He's not wasting his energy in that way. That is also brahmacharya, second type of brahmacharya. And he follows exact because they are following on brahmacharya, their senses are controlled. They are able to follow what Guru is telling. This is how. This is the time you have to wake up. This is the exactly you have to go at this time and get some grains and whatever they give. If they don't give, fine, whatever. But you have to go out and do it. Exactly, they follow the time. They follow everything, whatever Guru says, and they come back and follow the routine at the ashram, whatever they are. No second thoughts, exact process they have to follow. The same thing we have to follow. But right now we are in the Sangha Siddha Bhakti, we are affected by the modes. We are not able to, either we are late to the chanting. Most of you, I can tell you, 99%. 99%. In our temple, I can tell more than 90%. Either doing their late chanting, either they are missing the rounds. In a month, they can tick mark how many days they have chanted properly. 16 rounds, or some of them are adding 16 on next day. They only did less than 16, they have to add. In a year, there will be many cases of this, either doing late or not finishing 16 rounds. So on top of it, if you go further deep, how many of them are chanting attentively? Because mind is taking its toll. You're not submitting. First, yesterday also, Maharaj is telling all these points. We mentioned first one is forget and forgive. How many times we have repeated? Maharaj said so because this is Prabhupada only. We're all learning from Prabhupada. Prabhupada has repeatedly is telling these things. If you forget and forgive, then the mind will not so much bring all unwanted thoughts. The other one is the brahmacharya, which I mentioned. That also brings unwanted thoughts. Clutter is there. Because naturally mind cannot focus on chanting when this brahmacharya principle is not followed. That is also another problem. Mm. But at least one should practice in Sangha Siddha Bhakti, with even though modes, one has to at least practice. Where is the consistent practice? That is why self care, we said, self care for the body. Where is the consistent practice even for health? How many of you are going for exercise? Either going to gym, ideally you should go for walk. How many of you, even in the cold weather, Prabhupada used to go for morning walk, rain or shine or how many of you are going? How many of us are going? Very few. Same consistent practice is not there neither for the body. Mind becomes complacent naturally. We don't even want to go to gym. Gym anyway, heat is there. You're not outside. Still we don't go. Even though we might have paid membership fee also. Neither we go out for walking. Uh, Many are not comfortable. Fine, your body is susceptible to cold coffee. You don't want to get it. Fine, but if you make it healthy habit, it doesn't. You fully cover it up and go. So it's very important because unless the self care for the body is not there, then you cannot put that energy. The strength will not be there to wake up. Strength will not be there for chanting. Energy will be drained out because constantly we have to go for the job and work and so many things, you have responsibilities, so many things, so many thoughts will come. So this is what the dent will be there on the mind. Just like watch how many accidents we have gone through. Car accidents are different types of incidents in our life. As and that when that happens, the dent happens on the not on the gross body of the car only it happens, but it also affects our senses. It affects our mind. We'll be thinking for many days and months, depending on how much we are attached, how expensive the dent is. For the car, then you have to take to the dealership. You have to take to the person to fix it. Same thing, but imagine what dents we have on the mind. So many dents, unwanted dents. So that's why Shastra is telling, sadhus are telling, Krishna is telling, sound vibration is very important. That's why chanting has when the sound, when you put a stone in the river, it has seven times it goes through that reflections of the water. You will see the layer. Same thing, sound. When the sound is been sound enters into the ether, it goes also 7 times. So, how many layers of the universe is there? This earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, ego. The 7 layers, 7 coverings are there. If you want to enter into spiritual from material world, you have to enter into there are 7 layers. After the 14 planets, you have to go through 7 layers. So, same with this mind is the all the dents are there, all the unwanted clutter is there on the mind. So, to go out of it, then you have to take to the sound vibration, which can create, remove all the unwanted clutter. So that's why you have to pay attention in the morning sadhana. Consistent sadhana has to be done throughout the not a missing, not even one day. You cannot miss it. If you want to attain perfection, you have to concentrate on the sound vibration of the chanting of the holy name. That means you have to also tell the mind, stop these unwanted things. I want, this is my time with Krishna. Just like you sitting in a movie and you are glued to it. That's it. Same way, you switch off everything else. You switch off your cell phone, you do that. Movie, you don't put your cell phone on the natural mode, then you'll get a call, people will look at you. Who is this person? Came out of zoo or what? What is he doing here? So people look at same thing here also. So when you sit for class, when you are chanting, pay attention. Cell phone should be vibrate, not looking at it. So you're paying completely full attention to the holy name, to sound vibration, chanting and hearing very crystal clearly every word of it. All 16 rounds, you should do it every day in the morning before 6 o'clock. That is throughout the year. If you practice like this 20 years, 15, 20 years, you will come to Sangha, Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. Initially, it will be Sangha Siddha Bhakti because naturally mind will bring, because mind means Vritti, Pravrutti. Pravrutti means the activity which is giving for sense pleasures. That is what we are attached to. Life after life, many lifetimes, many movies, and whole life is a movie. All these are their imprints. Very teeny bit is there of the spiritual activities. So, what will it bring? Mind constantly brings all the material aspects only when we sit for chanting. But we constantly practice it. Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa nanya in Bhagavad Gita, 8th chapter, Krishna is telling. You have to practice this process consistently, repeatedly every day. Same, that's why self care for the body has to be there. Exercise regularly. Out of 7 days, at least 3 to 5 days, ideally 4 5 days, you should do more than half. You should practice it. Either you go to gym and do it, or you do it, walk. Definitely, all you have to do. Otherwise, you'll have health problems on top of it. Then you can practice it. You need a lot of active energy to carry out your duties. So this is very much self-care. The mind means for mind always self-care is always on the chanting. Always manatrayate iti mantra. That's why Krishna is telling man manava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru. Mameva is in the present, he is repeating twice. That's why man mana. And seventh thought, especially bhakti is always controlling the mind only. Maya, Vesa Manoyama, Nitya Yukta Upasate. How many times? 12th chapter, 7th chapter also. So it's beginning with mind only, everywhere. In Lord so the earlier verse we already read. There also. Evam mana karma vasam prayumte. This you have already been captivated because mind is captured with all these millions of lifetimes activities, pravrutti of giving pleasure to your senses, mind, your body, gross body, subtle body. Then what you'll have to evam karma vasam mana karma vasam prayumte avidya atman because of the ignorance. Avidya atmana ubadiyamane. Pritirnayama, then you have to develop with love. That is what Swarupa Siddha Bhakti means. Swarupa Siddha Bhakti means, Jiva Goswami is giving an example. Just like we all pay the bills to the government. You love government? No one is loving the government. But you have to pay the bills. You have to pay the taxes. Yeah. Similarly, we are doing this Sangha Siddha Bhakti. He gives nice, this example only gives. Because it makes sense, yes. We are doing chanting, we are doing hearing, we are taking darshan, we are taking prasad. How many times we are really doing? Because we love Krishna. No, you don't. If you love Krishna, you cannot miss. You will do it every day consistently. Every day, without fail. Not only that, when you are brushing the teeth, you are remembering Krishna. You are taking the bath, you are remembering Krishna. When you are evacuating, you are remembering Krishna from morning to evening. This is the instruction Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving in Sannyas Leela. He is telling. Hmm. अमी प्रेम सभा का कृष्ण विनो आर नवी गाइबो डोंट थिंक ऑफ एनीथिंग एल्स की शयने की भोजने की जागरणे आहार निशा चिंता कृष्ण विनो नाई. So When you sleep, ki chayne, when you sleep, ki bojne, when you're eating, ki jagarne, when you wake up. 24, he has covered 24 hours activities. And all these three stages, these three coming on 24 hours is these three categories. Either we are sleeping, ki chayne, ki bojna, or we are eating. Rest of the time, ki jagarne. We are wake up, we are doing either activity, job or business or at home, watching something, eating something. So then these three categories. Then what is telling? If you have any love for me, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing all whoever is assembled in Sannyas Lila is telling all of them. If you have any love for me, then you do in all these three times, you make sure you remember Krishna, you discuss about Krishna, you hear about Krishna, engage everything for Krishna. Don't do anything else. If you have love for me, how many times we have done it? Hardly, because that's why we are in Sangha Siddha Bhakti. We are practicing, but we are not developing any love. Because there is no consistency. There is no, we are at least not feeling that love. We are not understanding. Krishna is telling, Prabhupada is telling again and again. This process works, but who is applying the process? So that is the problem. That's why in Puthu Maharaj's case, all this prerana, palana, poshana. Where is the poshana? You are feeding the body for sure, but you are feeding the mind also, giving all these, nice drink, nice food, nice watching, nice weekend, all these things only. But real posna, where is it happening? Posna is happening for the mind, gross body, subtle body. Posna is not happening for the soul. If the posna for the soul is happening, then actually you can come to Swarup Siddha Bhakti. Swarup Siddha Bhakti means, and that's why he used this verse. Ki chayne ki jo, same verse is quoting. Gramya Vyavahar na sunibe. Gramya Vyavahar na kahibe. So, Arana, what is it? Balana na kaibe. Balana, one more, what is there? This is in Raghunath Das Goswami, been instructed by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told, don't eat luxuriously and don't eat luxuriously. So, and he's telling you, don't speak unwanted things, unnecessary, not related to Krishna. Gramya Vyava. Nasunve, neither you hear nor you speak either. Not hearing nor even speaking about the material aspects or nothing related to Krishna. Even if you speak any material thing in relation to Krishna, you speak, but not otherwise. This is my instruction. There, everything is there. The same that Chaitanya Bhagavat verse and this verse, Chaitanya Charitamrita verse from Antilila, these are fully aligned. There, this verse from 11 to 36, you look at the purport, clearly written. Prabhupada is quoting, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, various Acharya is quoting, especially because this bhakti definition of these three categories. Swarup Siddha Bhakti means from morning to evening, you are doing every activity only meant for the Lord and Guru only. You're brushing the teeth because you have to be clean internally, externally, because that is meant. This body belongs to the Lord, not belongs to us. It belongs to the Lord because Aham Bija Pradapyata, seed giving Father is telling who has given, like this current body, our father, mother has given. From them only we have received this body. Yes. But how did they receive it? If you go back to Brahma, how Brahma is, where did Brahma is born from Garbhodakaya Vishnu, is explained by Lord Krishna. So you go back, then you see that this body is given by the Lord. So that's why this body is meant to be used. That is what Swarup Siddha. If you use this body, anyway, you brush your teeth. Um, you take bath every time. As you go through that, you put a class, you hear or you chant. Don't waste time. That's what it means. If you want to come to Swarup Siddha Bhakti, if you want to feel love, you want to germinate your love, you want to revive it, Samiksha, Pratiksha, Pariksha. That's why you have to introspect it. That is a nectar instruction. This purport, this verse, what I'm talking about, these deep philosophical points are always there in Nectar Upadesha 8th verse. All key verses we're discussing today. The eighth verse also uses Sravana to Varana to Manana to Niridhyasana. Sravana, Manana, Niridhya. It is to do with the mind only. Sravana, it is all to do with sound. Sravana, you have to hear with great attention. Varana, then it will become a repetitive, consistent hearing every day. Means what you hear, you do put in practice. That is what Varana means. Varanamala. When you get married, then they call Varanamala exchange. So you have accepted it. You accepted, okay, I accept this proposal. I get married to this girl. Girl getting married to boy. That is what Varana means. You are really, with the heart, you are accepting it. Same thing else. Ravana, Varana means Initially, you may be hearing classes. Sometimes you hear, sometimes half an hour, sometimes you are doing multitasking, sometimes you only attending. Most of the times, devotees also listen, but most of it is only tick mark. Actually, really, you're not paying attention. Really, you're not putting into practice. Neither attentively hearing, or even after attentively hearing, you're not putting that in practice. What you're hearing. Otherwise, Lord Krishna is repeatedly telling in every chapter is telling how to do what is to be done, what is not to be done. But how many of us are following? So that's it. So all that is either Aropa Siddha Bhakti we are practicing or Sangha Siddha Bhakti. Most of us are practicing Sangha Siddha Bhakti. Some of them are practicing also Aropa Siddha Bhakti. They have no attachment for hearing chanting. If at all, they may pick up beats one round, two round here and there, they will do. But actually, they are engaged, they are attached to their work, they are attached to business, they are attached to all the worldly things, they are attached to religious functions, all these things, and they offer some donation, they offer their service, something. It's only Aropa Siddha Bhakti. Sanghasita Bhakti, they have understood Shastra Sadhu Guru, but they are not serious at. They are not practice. They have not developed law. They are only doing because Guru has said so, and actually that is the only way I can attain perfection. Then I can give up this gross body and enter into spiritual world. That they have understood, but actually, really, the law they have not developed. Everything has supposed to be done with law. All the 9 limbs, 64 items, 64 limbs of devotion. Everything has to be done with love for the Lord. This is meant for the Lord. Chanting, hearing, that's everything. Lord wants to see us more than we want to see. Lord is more eager than us. Lord is more eager. So that's why we have to, when we sit for chanting, also Lord is more eager to hear us, maintain our relation. That we have to submit. My Lord, please allow me to be in submission with you. That's why we have to massage each and every beat is like massaging the lotus feet. How many times we remember? That is also, that's why, because the attentiveness, absorption is not there. In our darshan also it is not there. When even the does the deities in your cook, that absorption is not there. When you absorb it, then you come naturally, Swarup Siddha Bhakti. Naturally, you will feel throughout the day you are only doing it for Krishna. No material thoughts. Because we're not able to forget and forgive people, whether wife, husband, kids, you name it, parents, or in the office, so many things. All these are coming into the mind when you're chanting, when you're hearing class, all these things, unwanted things are coming because of this. We are living on the external periphery, outside. Antaranga Bhakti we are not doing. Bahiranga Bhakti we are doing. Aropa Siddha Bhakti or Sangha Siddha Bhakti. That's why we are not able to actually forgive and forget. Because if you understand the goal of life is Krishna, why you cannot forgive anybody? You can forgive. Because this is not difficult. How many times, only this lifetime, maybe some other lifetime they were been there. But that is our goal is to be with the Lord in eternal pastimes. So that's why you have to forgive. And so many things may happen in this world, but that is not our goal. Krishna is not. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling. Neither you hear it, even if you hear these incidents will happen, forget it. Forget it. That's not our goal, to ponder upon it. If you ponder upon it, more you ponder, more mind will bring when you're chanting. You hear it as though you neglect it, you have not heard, you ignore it. Forget and forgive. This can only happen you properly, attentively practice it every day without fail. No late business to the chanting, no late business for class, and no missing rounds either. Not a single day. If you consistently practice like that 15, 20, then you come to Swarupa Siddha Bhakti, then it's very quickly you can attain perfection. Then you can hear from the Lord, you can see the Lord. If you don't practice it, no matter how much you jump around here, there, any place you sit, anything you do, it is not going to give you perfection. It's not possible. From Sangha Siddha Bhakti, you cannot attain perfection. You have to come to Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. That means you have to do everything with love. Everything you are doing, you're taking care of the family, doing the job, business, whatever doing, this is all has to be done only because this is Lord has given the facility. Even initially, I've entered into this life somehow with material thoughts, material ideas, so much mind is seeking pleasure. But now I have to concentrate to offer everything. I'm doing this job, business, everything. Let me do it for the Lord. So anyway, now I have entered it. Let me do it for the Lord. Okay. So do as much as needed, and time is spent. Even that time also, while we are working, we are thinking, this is for the Lord. Whatever I get from here, let me engage in the service of the Lord. Everything, my body should be engaged, my wealth should be engaged, my mind should be engaged. So, in chanting and hearing, remembering, remember and remind. That verse is also Smarantis Smarayanti. You have to remember it, and you have to make our mind remind ourselves. We are not servant of senses. We are servant. We are servant of the Lord. That's why Maharaj also. Yeah, that is the problem. That's why we are not able to forget and forgive. because we're always feeling that I am the master. No, we're not the master. Krishna's plan always works. That's why always accept it. These are the statements. This we have been discussing, but we are not paying attention. Because this is Prabhupada repeats, regularly repeats these fundamental philosophies. So because Krishna is only master. Every many situations we go through it. Whether it's an accident, health problem, job problem, family, so many problems we'll go through. But accept it. Everything. In yesterday Gita class we were discussing. Any instruction you get, sometimes your wife will chastise, husband will chastise, kids will chastise, so many things will go on. But accept it as well. It is good. Our false ego, somebody has to poke it. That is good for us. Then you can practice devotion very properly. If somebody doesn't focus, we think we are already nice devotees. We are practicing so nicely, nicely taking prasadam, nicely chanting, nicely spending a lot of time, good time in the temple. So many things we will think that I'm a nice devotee. We feel very good. But actually, we have a false ego. That's why we are not able to remember Krishna. We have not able to develop love for Krishna because of false ego is there. That's why ego is added in the purport 11 to 36. You read the purport. In the word translation, word to word, you will not find ego. But in the purport, you will see. That is the Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur or Jiva Goswami is telling. Mind, senses, intelligence, comma, ego. You will see that. Because ego is the first problem. Ichad, where did the enviousness has come? I am the master. And that from ego only, false ego only. Their real ego is in the spiritual world, and it comes to material only, false ego. Mm. So that's it. You understand the process. Why this sadhana bhakti we are doing, but we are not able to come to Bhava Bhakti because we are performing this bhakti on the platform of Arop Siddha Bhakti or Sangha Siddha Bhakti. Mm. Still seeking pleasure. I'm chanting, I'm hearing. Yes, yes, I'm doing good. Very good. I feel so blessed. But are we really doing giving love for Krishna? Are we trying to develop this love for Krishna? Are we giving pleasure to Krishna and Guru? Mm. So how many times we are doing that? So that is where everything lies. That is Swarupa Siddha Bhakti means you are constantly doing it for the Lord's pleasure. Mm. You are seeking, you want to develop your love. I love Krishna. I love Lord's representatives. So that means that the whole day you will remember. More you think and ponder on that. That is a samiksha, pratiksha, pariksha. Samiksha means you're always introspecting on the Lord's activities, Guru's activities, what is he instructing, what is telling me to concentrate upon. Lord is always telling, Manmanavaman, think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your obeisances. So days should start, even if you're at home, how many times you have offered obeisance? Raghunath Das Goswami offered thousands of obeisance every day. How many times we offered it? Only if we come to temple, we offer obeisance. At home, how many times we offered obeisance? Very few. Yes. How many times while we are before chanting, how many times during chanting, how many times we submitted? Very few. So because we are missing a big time many aspects. What Prabhupada is stressing, Lord is stressing throughout Bhagavad Gita, because we are not paying attention. We are not reading scrutinizingly. We are only superficially reading it, ticking mark. The ticking mark business is on the Sangha Siddha Bhakti. It's not at the platform of Swarup Siddha Bhakti. You have to do it with love. You have to do really pay great attention. Prabhupada is stressing so much. That is how this verse is so important. Otherwise, mind is always, body has a tent, so everywhere. In 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling, Sotram, Chakshus, Parsanam, Granam, Evacha, Adhishtayam, Manaschayam, Vishayan, Upasevate, like Vopa Barahana. We are trying to serve our senses. Senses, mind, body, Karmendriyas, Gnana, always seeking pleasure, always serving our own pleasures. Even though we are chanting, we are doing bhakti, but is seeking pleasure for ourselves, not giving pleasure to Krishna. In spiritual world, that is not the case. Everybody is engaging in activities, seeking pleasure for themselves. No, they're all giving pleasure to Krishna. That's why you'll see that in the throat six aspects, this is what has been mentioned. Darpana Marjanam. Marjanam is to give pleasure to Krishna. Right now we are seeking pleasure. In order to do that, you have deep cleansing. That is with the chanting. Where is the deep cleansing happening? How many times we miss the rounds? How many times we miss the waking up? So many times. That means we are not actually deep cleansing is happening a little bit, but not deep cleansing. Marjanam means deep cleansing. You cannot miss at all. Morning sadhana cannot not missed. Whoever is missing, then because attentively, any Prabhupada can chant throughout the day. Anytime we pick up the beats, he can chant. With great help for love of the Lord. We are not in that category. So that's why our chanting will not be effective. If we chant rest of the day, whole day, we finish 16 hours, it is not actually really not counting it actually. Really not because this is our opposite the bhakti or so Sangha Siddha Bhakti. you want really pay attention, then you have to chant with great attention. You have to fix that time. That is only for just like you're sitting in movie, in no other disturbance. You are sitting, Krishna is sitting next to you, he's talking to you. That's what Hare Krishna Mahamantra is. We're talking to Krishna only. But who is feeling it? Most of us are not feeling it. We're only finishing as a duty. That should not be the business. Then we will be on this platform, second business only. Why this Sadhana Bhakti will never move to Bhava Bhakti. If you operate on the Sangha Siddha, Swarupa Siddha Bhakti, Swarupa means our original Swarupa is servant of Krishna. If you operate on that platform, you always think that I am servant of Krishna. So I should use everything. Because I am servant of Krishna, then everything is meant for him only. So that will make sure that you will also give it to me. So I'm getting wealth. I'll offer to him. He will also give me. He will not. He will allow me to use for our maintenance or paying the bills and mortgage and kids college, kids marriage, whatnot. All those things. He will allow. He's not taking away from us. He's allowing us, but to that extent we need. To that extent we use it. But otherwise, everything, even that, everything. And during marriage also, we invite the devotees. So many things. We use the garland. So many things. Every activity you always think, how should this be done, how should it be connected with the Lord. Every activity, it's going, everything you will see in relation with the Lord. You bring them in front of the Lord, you always engage, connect with the Lord. Every activity you see it in relation with the Lord. So this is Lord's plan. Let me follow the Lord's plan. You always submit, you offer before and after you submit. Yesterday Maharaj was telling same thing. He told, first, you have to submit to the acharyas. Maharaj is telling this is what, that's why we chant pranam mantra. Many devotees don't chant; they will directly pick up Hare Krishna, Jai Sri Krishna, and Hare Krishna. There is no offering obeisance to Guru, Parampara, nothing, nothing. No, it doesn't work that way. We have no capacity. We are not in Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. We have no devotion. We have no love. Who has devotion, love? Acharya's representatives has love for the Lord. So that's why we have to submit to them. Please allow me to develop this love for the Lord. Allow me to chant holy name with attentively. We have to submit to Tulsi Maharaj. That's why we chant Six Ashtam. That's why we chant Tulsi Arti, Mangal Arti is there. All these things. How many times we take darshan and chant? We are already late. How many times devotees will do that? Many times they are not even taking any mangalas online or in person. They are picking up the weight. Then where is the mind? Mind is always pravurti, their inclinations are there for unwanted things. It's not bringing Krishna's activities. It's not bringing. How many times we remember Krishna's lotus feet? We have seen darshan. We might be dressing also. How many times? The concentration is not there. So that's why it's not coming into our mind. How many times? I have opportunity to massage the lotus feet of the sadhu and guru. I said other day we visited Maharaj class. They bathed the Lord. Immediately I jumped and took the water and put it. That's the first thing I did. So many people are there. I didn't care. I walked on because that is the Shastra is telling. How many have understood it? So they have not understood. They are hearing, but who has understood it? Shastra is repeatedly telling. So we have to grab them. That's why when Prabhupada was bathed, people are jumping to take that water, drinking and take the water, put on their head. Because this is Shastra, because you will not get that opportunity. Very rarely, extremely rare to get opportunity. Sadhu will not allow people and devotees to wash their feet, first of all. Many will not allow you to do it at all. Very rarely they will allow you to. If they allow you, then you have to grab the opportunity. Hearing from them, taking their remnants. This is what Narmuni did. He took the remnants. He also served them. He heard them, remnants, and that means also drinking their water. They asked permission. They took. So even if you don't ask permission, you are submissively hearing. You are loving that person. Then they will be okay. They will not say anything. They will not feel bad that you have taken their water, washed their feet or anything. Because Sadhu is very merciful. He is ready to give it. So this is important. With this context, now we'll read. After 60, but this is a deep study, as I told. This is pay double attention. After posting here, also please hear it. I covered only some points, many things to be said, but we'll refer the verses also quickly. I'm supposed to join the group Maharaj's class, but what to do? This subject has to be very clearly discussed. The true activity, the translation by Jivangesi Bhaktivedanta, Swami Prabhupada Vijay, the true activity is tomorrow onwards you practice on not on Sangha Siddha Bhakti, not Arupa Siddha Bhakti. Even if you do only one round chanting, but concentrate so deeply that this is my relation with the Lord, not with anybody else. Through the Parampara Acharyas, I am with the Lord sitting. I should pay attention. He is my guest, and I am his guest. We both are discussing, so sitting together, conversing. So let me have double attention, very much attentive. Let me do it. Whatever rounds, 1 round or 16, whatever you are chanting, try to do it with great absorption. Keep that time, plan your activities every day, whatever you're doing, everything else, job, everything, adjust it, plan accordingly. So try to remove the clutter, unwanted thing, you reduce, minimize it. Kame karma, watching TV, watching news, it is not so important, it doesn't help. You limit it. Okay, you want to headline news, you limit it. Don't increase the time, then you will not have time. Unnecessary thoughts only will come. So whether so many, how many times we don't need to watch. We're not here presidents. We need to know what's happening. So we are so minute at the end of the channel, end of the cycle. So we don't need to worry so much about, a little bit. You reduce that time, spend that time. If you plan properly day, then you'll have enough time for Krishna. If you don't plan properly for this, then you can't wake up, you can chant, you can hear, you'll not have time to read the Prabhupada books. That also another problem. Most of the devotees doesn't read Prabhupada books. One day they will read, another day. One day 10 minutes, another day half an hour, or no reading. In a week, no reading at all. Because they have hard time finishing chanting. Then where is the time for reading and where is the time for hearing? Because planning is so much is there, so many activities, they're filled, their day is filled with hundreds of activities, nothing related to Krishna. Where is the bhakti then? Only they know. So this is the problem. This has to be fixed. Slowly, gradually, you have to understand, plan it, and see. That's why the samiksha, pratiksha, pariksha has to be there. You have to examine our life. Days are going by, years are going, months are going by. Final exam is very soon. We don't know when, but you are not doing anything about it. We are callous about it. Then how will you come to Sarup Siddha Bhakti? How will you attain perfection? So again, another life. Why to continue like this? Why to lead a miserable life and end in a miserable life in hell? No, we don't want to do that. After knowing, what we have gone through, so many letters, so much suffering we have to go through, so many things we have to go through everyday basis, so much suffering. We can feel it. Then why we want to do the continue the same repetition of the suffering? So life after life, we should not do that. Knowingly, why should take a poison? Uh, so that's why we have to take this process very seriously. Then it will help our family member, everybody. It will help. If you one person becoming a devotee, 21 generation liberated. Imagine what when they without them practicing it. What else? What topmost benefit anybody else in this world? No one else can give. If you become practice devotee, you become pure devotee. 21 generations, everybody will be liberated. Hmm? Imagine what a great benefit. No one in this world, no other process can give. So that's why we should give this greatest benefit to all of this is the best thing you can do to your family members, your forefathers, grandfathers, you name it. Previous generation, next generations, why not take it up? We should sacrifice for others. This is because that's what Krishna is telling. Yatavats, what is that? What we discussed in 12th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. Krishna is telling that. Just like the trees, they are meant for sacrificing for others. Your body, mind, intelligence, words, everything is supposed to be serving for meant for others. The trees are serving without looking for anything. They're offering fruits, flowers, everything, sacrificing. So human being, especially from Bhagavad Dharma, from Vedic culture, from India, you are supposed to meant to serve others. So this is the best service you can do. Sacrifice ourselves for others' benefit, for our family, restaurant, previous generation, forefathers, fathers, and next generation also. So that's why we should practice it. Let others, if they want to enjoy the rest of the family, fine. But at least we should practice it in Swarup Siddha Bhakti platform. Not on Sangha Siddha Bhakti, not on Arup Siddha Bhakti. We should directly develop that loving relation with the Lord. It is to do with the Acharyas and his devotees. Always, Lord is not alone. Always we have to add. When we say Lord, always you have to take shelter of his representative as well. The true activity of the sense organs, mind, sight, words, and all the knowledge gathering and what is that? Working senses is to engage fully in my service. Unless his senses are thus engaged, a living entity cannot think of getting out of great entanglement. This is what we discussed on that platform. Of the material existence, which is exactly like Yamaraj's stringent rope. That's why that was Pasha, Yama Pass. He will bind. Like it or not, like it doesn't happen. That's what Prabhupada is writing in that purport 11 to 36. Like the government. No ordinary father, mother, no government. You think no government will allow any citizen to engage in criminal, thief, or any murderers, all these activities? No. No government in this world, no government will allow. They may be in that category. Sometimes they are come from that category. But when they sit in the throne, they don't want these kind of people. The same thing with the Lord also. No, He is the Supreme Father. He never wants us to engage in those kind of activities. The Lord wants to align ourselves. As Shastra is speaking exactly what he's telling, that only we should do. Not something else. Just like the government doesn't want the living entities not follow the exactly the ideal citizen rules and regulations. The company also, managers, boss will always tell this is the company's compliance policy, this is the our guidance, this is the SOPs, everything you have to follow. This is what we have to follow. Integrity, all these things, ethics, all they repeatedly trained, reminding and regularly reminded for this reason because again and again we forget and we do unwanted things because mind wants everything. Everybody wants quick things. All the dirtiness is there. That's why the companies have to do. That's why government have to do reminding. And the Lord is especially Shastra, Sadhu, and Gurus keep remembering and reminding us regularly what should be our practice, what should not be our practice. That's why he's telling in this translation. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. It is simple purport, but this is a deep subject. As stated in Narada Pancharatra, Sarvopad Vinir Muktam Tat Paratva Nirmalam Mushike Sushike Sevanam Bhaktu. This verse you should remember it, you should chant. When you are putting Tilak Om Keswayama, you should chant this verse. I am the servant of the Lord and servant of Guru. I am not the master here. We have to remind ourselves. Regularly we have to remind. When we are standing in front of the Lord, putting Tilak, whenever we do, you should remind ourselves. Otherwise, it's very difficult to come to Swarup Siddha Bhakti. Mind is always doing something else, business, not Krishna's business, sir, our own business it is doing. So that's why this verse is very important. This is the conclusion of Bhakti all the time. Lord Rishabh has been stressing devotion. Now it's concluding by saying that all the senses should be engaged in the Lord service. There are five senses by which gather knowledge, five senses which we work. These ten senses and the mind should be fully engaged in the Lord service. Without engaging them in this way, one cannot get out of the clutches of Maya. It is not possible. So we'll quickly refer and then we'll close it up. 11 to 36, very famous verse. So 11 to Maharaj name is now every verse in this chapter is very, very important. 36. So this is where Jeva Goswami is. Prabhupada is quoting only few, just one line, but is not elaborating in it. So let's see the exact verse. What verse we read is in line. Few places it is there. Kayena vacha manasendriyer va udyatmana va anusruta swabhavad karoti yat sakalam parasme narayana eti samapayeti tat. Exact verse, similar to what is being mentioned. In accordance with the particular one has acquired in conditional life, whatever one does with the body, words, minds, and intelligence. You see ego? Nowhere. Neither in the verse nor in the translation. You see the purport. Or purified consciousness, one should offer to the Supreme, thinking this is for the pleasure of Lord Narayana. This is what we discussed till now. See the purport. So Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur has commented in this regard: the person who engages all the sensory activities, body, mind, words, intelligence, ego. You see that? Yeah. Ego and consciousness in the service of Supreme Lord cannot be considered to be on the same level as Karmi, working for his personal sense gratification. Although apparently conditions of one who offers the fruits of his activities, Lord can no longer be touched by the countless miseries that arise from the reactions to material activities. Because of enmity, that's why he's putting the ego automatically. Against Supreme Personality, his omnipotent authority, because we are not following. If ego is there, why will you not? If you are real ego, whatever Lord says, exactly like I give the example of Guru and Brahmachari. Gurukul. Exact, no repetition. One time it is said, followed. That's it. No questions asked. Like that. Otherwise, the ego is there. In like it or not like it, false ego is there. Then only we are not following it. If we are following it, then we real ego. But we are not following it. Everything what Lord is telling. Repeatedly, Guru is telling, Krishna is telling, but we are not able to follow it. That means we think, I can do this, I like this. But what Lord is telling differently and we are doing differently. So that means ego is there. That's why here purport you will see that ego very much. Because of enmity, yet self-realized souls continue to perform all types of work within this world to carry out the mission of the Supreme Lord. According to Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur, those karmis who are sufficiently pious follow the examples of self-realized souls by trying to offer fruits of their own duty. This is Aropa Siddha Bhakti. So they don't know fully what is devotion, what used to be what, but they offer something, whatever. They come to temple, their donation, whatever, so many things. But it's on Aropa Siddha Bhakti. They have no devotion. They are not practicing either, but they are doing indirectly. That is fine. So gradually they'll come to second stage, third stage. So although this is counted as karma mishra bhakti, so this is devotees who are following it. This is karma mishra bhakti. Sufficiently although this is counted as karma mishra bhakti or devotion mixed with the desire to execute food or such mixed devotion service is gradually transformed into pure devotion. As a pious fruitive worker, disengage themselves step by step um, from the bogus philosophy of enjoyment of one's hard-earned reward. Pure devotions will reward them with complete good fortune. Sri Swami has commented. Although one may still be in the bodily concept, he should offer the fruits of his work to the Supreme Person. Those with a primitive materialistic concept of Supreme consider the Lord present only in temple or church. They may make some offering to the Lord in the place of worship, but in their normal activities, they claim proprietorship. That is why it is to do with the ego. They think we are the proprietor. No, I earned it. I should enjoy myself. I brought this car. I should enjoy myself. I should brought this cell phone. I should enjoy myself, taking lots of pictures and lots of things. It's all to do with false ego only. But we're not realizing it, but that's what we're doing. So, not thinking that God is present everywhere and within everyone. We have practical experience of many so-called religious men who become very offended if their children try to become servants of Supreme Lord. Yeah, many parents they think like that. That's why they don't want you to give the book, and they don't want to take the book, even though children want it. Well, they don't. They think they're going to go away and do something else. They feel God should be pleased with whatever humble offering I give him, but my family and ordinary business affairs belong to me and are under my control. This perception of anything as separate from the Supreme Person or his proprietorship is called Maya or illusion. Sridhar Swami has quoted, Na kevalam vidita krutam eveti niyama swabhava anu sorry, Laukikamapi. The regulation that one should serve the Supreme Lord does not refer only to prescribed religious plans, ceremonies, regulations. Rather, all the activities, that means morning to evening, brushing the teeth, taking bath, everything is because this body belongs to Him. It should be meant for that because we have to purify it, externally, internally clean. And because Lord is telling so. He's telling cleansing, there's regulation. He's telling cleansing the internal and internal. Further, see this verse also, Bhagavad Gita verse also similar. Many places these similar verses are there. Yat karosh, yat asnas, yat juhos, dadas, yat tapasasikam, tat kurusha mother, O son of Kunti. All that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, all the austerities that you perform, you've done as an offering to me. Further, we are coming to Sarops at the Bhakti mentioning. One who wants to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead must accept the system of Varnashram. That is the beginning, Arops at the Bhakti. So therefore, if one offers his work within the Varnashrama system to the Supreme Lord, such work is counted as devotion only. According to one's swabhava or nature, one may work as intellectual or a priest or an administrator or a military man or agriculturist like that. I shall accept a bare minimum for my personal maintenance. I am working for the Supreme Lord. Whatever result comes from my work, I shall accept. And the rest I shall offer for the glorification of Lord. Now, this is where the important point. Says Jiva Goswami has pointed out. One cannot offer dushkarma or sinful, wicked activities, supreme person. The four pillars of sinful life are illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, intox. Such activities are never acceptable as offering to supreme person. This example may be given that although in a free society each person is allowed to choose his or her, even a democratic government, this is what we mentioned. Democratic government will not allow a citizen to choose the occupation of thief or murderer. Same way, according to the laws of God, one is invited to work according to his own nature in the varnashram, but one is forbidden to adopt a criminal life of sinful activities, violating the laws of God. Yes, this is what no father wants you to smoke, drink, and whatnot. No, they will never allow you. If it's a Vedic culture, he has understood, they will never allow. So this is the same government also. They don't want to person to become follow like that. Neither God wants. Now, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given nice discussion. One should offer one's ordinary activity to Supreme Lord. He says that ordinary sense gratifier begins his activity in the morning by passing stool and urine, cleaning his mouth. And this is what we have been telling for months, almost pretty much every class. That's why I quoted. That was also I quoted earlier today. I have mentioned many times before, but many of us doesn't remember. Key saying key point. This is what it means. See this point. Cleansing his mouth, brushing the teeth, bathing, meeting his friends and family members, discussing within them day's business. In this way, one has so many activities during the day, and the sense gratifier execute all these activities for his personal material enjoyment. A karmi, on the other hand, working under the jurisdiction of Karmakanda section of the Vedas, will perform same activity for the pleasure of demigod and forefathers. Thus, according to Vishwanath Chakravarti, what is devotee supposed to do here? A devotee of Supreme Lord Narayana should similarly perform all of his daily activities for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Sannyas Leela. Every activity you do it as offering to the Lord. Every activity. Every activity. In this way, everything you do throughout the day will become Bhakti Yoga, Bhakti Anga, or supplementary aspect of our devotion service to Krishna. So, Further, you'll read further. Here it is mentioned. According to Jiva Goswami, and one becomes very much attracted to hearing and chanting about the Supreme Lord, not merely offering him the fruits of one's work. One has attained the stage called Surupa Siddha Bhakti. This is what we have talked. This is at the highest point. Everything is meant only. I love Krishna. This is meant for Krishna only, not for any, not for my pleasure. This is has to be understood clearly. Or the stage in which actual devotion becomes visible. The example may be given that although a good citizen will pay his taxes of government, but he may not necessarily love the government or its leader. Similarly, a pious living entity can understand that he is working under the laws of God, and therefore, according to the Vedic injunctions, offers a portion of his asset to Supreme Lord in religious ceremony. But when such a person actually becomes attached to chanting and hearing about the personal qualities of the Lord, that's your Nama, Rupa, Guna, Leela. More you concentrate there, that's why darshan has to be absorbed. That's why you need deities, either pictures at home, but regularly you should take darshan, regularly absorb darshan. More and more you do it, then Rupa will come one day when you are chanting. More and more we don't take darshan of absorbed darshan. Virtually, ideally, we should take in person. More and more it doesn't happen. Our chanting is not properly, cannot be done properly. So it's very important. Rupa is very important because mind is bringing all the imprints, all the unwanted things for so many lifetimes. But that has to be replaced. That has to be purified by these imprints of the Lord's lotus feet, Lord's lotus space. And that's why again and again you have to take darshan more and more. That helps to be fixed our actual mind on the lotus feet of the Lord, on the spiritual aspects. Otherwise, it's hovering on the mental plane. That is the problem. But when such a person actually becomes attached to chanting and hearing about personal quality, that is the Rama Rupa initially, then Guna Lila will come. You will enter into the pastimes. Maharaj said so in Jagannath Katha, he said so. Yesterday's class also he was telling. Very important. Maharaj is going to the point. Because this is Prabhupada's training is like that. Pretty much in every class, Prabhupada is telling is considered to be reaching the mature stage of life. In this regard, Jiva Goswami has quoted several verses that very nicely describe the developmental love of Godhead. May the merciful Lord show mercy on me by demonstrating misery created by sinful desires. Unintelligent persons have unflinching affection for the objects of sense gratification. This is what we said. If you want to purify the intelligence, means hearing and chanting, and then you apply it. That means everything. So everything belongs to the Lord. Everything you offer to the Lord. Everything in relation with the Lord. When you go to grocery shop, when you go to mall, wherever you go, always you remember, you connect everything. See in relation with the Lord. Then gradually soon, when you chant, you will chant very nicely. Everything will become so blissful, and you will more and more you remember the Lord. More and more you feel internally so happy. You will not be anxiety of anything. You will not remember who said what this one did, that one did. You will not remember any of that. You will always remember only Guru and Krishna's word, their instructions, their suggestion. You will not remember all the clutter, what's happening in your life and past life, this one, that one. No, accident, you will move on. Everything, all so many problems what we have gone through in this life, move on. You'll not remember that. You'll not remind. You'll not mind. Will not bring those things because you concentrate on Guru and Krishna left and right every day. Then naturally that only will bring. So mind has to replace all the unwanted clutter by the darshan, by following what Guru and Krishna is and keep remind ourselves. That's what that introspection has to happen on Guru and Krishna's instruction regularly. That means you have to concentrate on chanting, concentrate on hearing, concentrate on reading. Whoever is not concentrating, who is becoming oblivious to not doing proper rounds in the morning, attentive rounds, not following the prescription of Srila Prabhupada, they cannot come to this Swarup Siddha Bhakti. Then they cannot perfect in this life. They have to continue another life, many lifetimes maybe. This is a very deep subject. That's what mind is always fixed on sense pleasures. This we have to understand and concentrate very much on this point. As the mind of young girl take pleasure in thinking of young boy, and those of young boys take pleasure in thinking of young girl, may my mind take pleasure in you. That's how we have to submit. Throughout our chanting, we have to submit. Please allow me to develop my love and my attachment to your holy name, to your form, to your representatives. Allow me to serve you with great attachment. Let me intend. Please inspire me. Please give me a calling, give me a strength. We have to beg. Constant, regular, we have to beg from the Acharyas, beg from the Supreme Lord. Then one day we will be able to see the Lord. We will be able to first hear from the Lord, and then we will be able to see the Lord as you chant. This will happen. But provided we follow the practice. Clearly, strictly, we follow the practice, what is been described by Sri Prabhupada regularly in the purports. So then we'll come from Sangha Siddha Bhakti to Swarupa Siddha Bhakti. Then we'll perfect our life. Then you'll feel bliss, so much bliss that you will be completely become oblivious. You'll take care of everything. Your job and everything will go on, but you will not be at all